Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to a video. So today I have another SquadSDk tutorial video for you guys. And so in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up a AAS game mode layer for your map, or gameplay layer for your map. And so for the sake of making the video a bit shorter, I pre-made everything, but I'll go over and show you guys what I did and everything that you need to do as well. And so the first thing that you need to do is you want to come over here to your main content folder of your mod. So I'm going to quickly go there. You want to go to settings. Well, I already have it here on the right. But if you don't, go into your settings folder and then maps. You want to open your layer table. And so after you've done that, obviously you won't have a second layer here in your data table. Or if you do, then all you're going to do is just click on this plus icon, so it creates a new row. Now, because I already have mine here, so what you want to do is after you've clicked that plus icon, you want to come over here after you've selected, and then the row name needs to be your map name underscore AAS underscore V1. Now, you don't necessarily have to have the V1 after it, but I just added because this is my first version of my AAS, and this is also because if you have multiple versions or multiple layouts for, or if you have multiple AAS layers for your map with different positions for the capture zones, obviously you will then make this v2, v3, whatever. And then after you've done that, for the display name, just name it exactly the same. Except for the underscores, or you can name it whatever you want. And so after you've done that, you want to close that, and then the next thing that you want to do is come over here to your maps, and then whatever your maps name is, and then go into your gameplay layer data folder. And in here, what you want to do is you want to right click, go to miscellaneous data asset, and search for SQ layer, and you want to select the first one, click select. And then once it created it, you want to name it exactly the same as what the row name is in your layer table. So like so, you guys can see how I named mine. And so after you've done that, you want to open it. And then the first thing that you want to set, if you have it open, is your level ID. And so this needs to be exactly the name of this thing here, or this data asset here, or whatever your map's name is. So obviously mine is test map. So if yours is different, obviously we'll put something else in here. And so after you've done that, as you guys can see, you have the team config here. Now, most of these things I did go over in my how to create a squad map video. So if you guys watched that video, most of you should know how to do this stuff, but I'm just gonna go over everything anyways for anyone that doesn't, or that didn't watch that video. But I will still recommend you go watch that video first before this one, because there's a few things I'm not going to go over. But then after you've like expanded this, what you want to do is you want to click twice on this plus icon, and it will create these two indexes, and then you want to expand them, and then like you can see here, you have index here, and so this is going to be team 1, and this is going to be team 2. So you want to just click on the second one and set it to team 2. And then specific faction setup, this is where you're going to then choose your 2 teams. So I have a custom faction, and I also have a video on that that I made previously that you also can go and watch and to see how you set that up. But after you've done it, for both teams, just make sure you set a faction setup for, well, whatever 2 factions you want on your specific layer. This is where you'll set it. And then one thing that you want to do is also change the tickets, the amount of tickets for each team if you want to. I just left it default. And so the next thing that you want to do is you want to scroll down to where it says game mode, and in here, by default, this layer, this data table should be set already. But for the row name, you want to set this to AAS. And so once you've done that, all I did is just for testing. Most of you shouldn't enable these, but I enabled no respawn timer and no team change timer. And so after you've done that, down here you guys will see this primary data, and this data table needs to be your layer table that you have in your mod folder, this one. So once you've done that, on the row name, make sure you set it to testmap underscore AAS v1 or whatever you named your layer that we created here. And so once you've done that, the next thing that you want to do is enable this apply recursively and then set the chunk ID to whatever you want. And so once you've done that, we are done with the data asset. The next thing you want to do is go into your gameplay layers folder. And in here, as you can see, I created a new level called testmap underscore ASV1, exactly the same as you named it in here. Make sure you name it exactly the same. And so how you create a new level is just right click level and then name it like I just said. And so after you've done that, you want to open it. So mine is already open. Now as you can see, I have a few things set up, but I'll go over how to get to this point. Now the next thing that you want to do is go to levels. Once you have your level open, yours will probably be black or dark. And so you want to come over here to levels. Here, if you don't have this thing that I have here, the levels tab, you want to go to Windows and then click on levels. And then you should have this little tab here. It will probably not be docked, but you can just dock it here on the right. And so once you have it open, you want to click on this levels button here, say add existing. And then the first thing that you want to add is, on the left, you make sure you go to your mod folder, go to maps, and then the first thing you want to add is your landscape geo or your main map where your landscape and all of that stuff is in. And then once you've done that, click on it, say open. And so once you've done that, it will obviously close this window and add it here. And you want to do it again. But then we're going to add our lighting layer. As you can see here, I have a folder called lighting layers. And then you choose your lighting layer. And then you should then have light. Now, this lighting layer and all of these things I created in my previous video on how to create a squad map. So you guys will see what I mean by, I would suggest you guys watch that video first if you don't have a map yet. And then this is just to set up an AAS gameplay layer. So there's a few things that I'm not gonna go over. So and then the next thing that I'm gonna do is, because I made I have another gameplay layer that I created in my how to create a squad map video. I'm gonna quickly open it because I want to copy my spawns and my ammo crates that I already have over to my AAS level. Now I already did this, but I'm gonna show you guys, if you have watched that video, how you can copy the stuff over. So once you have it open, you want to go to World Outliner, and I'm basically gonna hold shift and then click this first thing here and then hold shift and click the last item here in the World Outliner, and then Control C, and then you want to go back to your AAS layer. And then just Control V. And make sure you're in your persistent level. Now I'm not gonna do that because I have it already. I've already done it beforehand to make the video not too long. And so the next thing that you want to do is, this is where we're gonna now start placing down the capture zones. So the first thing you want to do is, on my second content browser here, I'm gonna click on this icon here. I'm gonna go to the main content folder of the SDK, close that again, go to blueprints, placeables, capture zones, and in here, as you guys can see, there's a BP underscore AAS graph. Now, what you want to do is just drag this out and plop it in your world. And like you guys can see here, I already have it. And so once you've done that, you can basically put it anywhere you want. And then the next thing that you want to do is, as you can see, there's a BP underscore capture zone blueprint as well. Now, on my first content browser here, I'm going to go back to my main content folder of my mod, go to blueprints, create a new folder called placeable. In here, you want to create another folder called capture zones. And in here, as you can see, I already copied mine over and renamed it. So you want to do the same. So you want to select this, drag it over, and then say copy. Now I already did it. And so once you've done that, just rename it to whatever you want, as long as you know this is your custom capture zone. And so then you want to open it. And then as you can see here, it opens it in the content or construction script, because I did a few things here. Now the first thing that you want to do is come up here where it says add component, click it and search for sphere. Oops. Sphere. And you want to select the sphere collision. And so after you've done that, select it, scroll down here on the right until you see collision, and then under here collision presets, make sure this is set to capture zone. After you've done that, as you can see here on the left, I have two variables that I created. One that says sphere radius, the other one is flag name. And then once you've done that, obviously I have a few things here, but I'm going to show you guys how to create this. And so the first thing you're going to do is going to drag your sphere out and drag off of this pin and say set sphere radius. And so then you'll get this thing that I have here. And then once you've done that, you want to then take this variable that you created here. Well, what you want to do is after you created these, how you create this is click on this plus icon on the variable. And then for the first one, obviously, like I said, you need to name it sphere radius. And then on the right here, make sure instance edible is enabled, and then variable type, make sure this is a float. And then the sphere radius or the default value, make this 1000. And then for the second variable, just click on this plus icon again, name it flag name. And then for the variable type, make it text, and then enable instance edible. And so once you've done that, you want to connect you want to just drag it out, click say get, and connect it up like so. Now, for the flag name, you want to drag out your capture zone, and then drag off of the pin here and say set flag name, like so. And then all you do then is drag out your flag name like so, and then connect up like that. And that should be it for this blueprint. And then you just click compile and save, and that should be it. Now, the next thing that you want to do is before we already dragged out this AAS graph. Now I already set up a few things here. Like you guys can see, I have the SNDF main and then the Russian main, because those are the two teams that I'm using. Now now that you created this, you want to drag it out. And now, because the first two that you're gonna add is the two bases for each team, and so what you want to do is after you've dragged it in, drag it over your base for that specific team, and then you can make the sphere radius however big you want. But down here you want to set the flag name to whatever team it is. Like before, I already have mine set up, but I'm just going to go over the settings. After that, you want to click on SQ capture zone here, and then this is where you want to set the initial team to 1. because this is team 1's spawn, and then obviously if you set it, the flag name here, this setting here will be gray. And then what you want to do is also enable uncappable. And so once you have done that, you want to do that for both teams. So obviously I have one here, and then I have another one over here. And so just make sure when you do it, click on capture zone and then set this initial team to 2 for team 2. And so once you have done that, you should have both of your teams' bases capture zones set up. And now all I did is just dragged in these and made it attached, or I basically attached it to the AAS graph. So basically what you do is, I'll quickly undo this. What you do is you drag in your first teams as one, or like so, and then you drag the other one in like that. So once you've done that, this is where we're actually going to start placing down the capture points. So I'm going to start here, and then all you're going to do is just drag it out, and then you can change the sphere radius if you want to. And this is going to be cap point 1, like so. And then I'm going to drag out another one and maybe put it like here. Now this is where obviously I'm just placing them down, but depending on your map, obviously you'll place them wherever you want to. So this is going to be 1, 2, and then 3, 4. I'm going to try to place 4 points. And then for this one, select it. And then this one is going to be cap point 2. And so obviously the name of the flag you can call whatever. And so I'm going to just drag out another one. And I'm going to basically put this one maybe over there. Or like so. Because I want to put another one here. Hey, let's put it a little bit farther away. And then for this one, it's going to be cap point 3. Then drag another one out and put it like there. And this is going to be cap point 4. And so once you've done that, you will now have all of your capture points. So for the first one, I'm just going to rename these to whatever the flag's name is. So this is going to be cap underscore point underscore 1. And this is going to be, I'm just going to copy the name to make it a bit faster. And then just change it out like so. So you can quickly go, and after you've placed all of your capture points, rename them as well. So that's number 3. And this is going to be number 4. And so once you've done that, you want to add it here into the graph like so. Whoops. I accidentally zoomed into that capture point. And so once you have it added here, the next thing you want to do is click on your AAS graph. And then you want to click here on the AAS initializer. But this is where you can change a bunch of settings. So up here you guys will see there's a graph node base bleed component. And then when you click on this, you guys can see there's a few settings here that you can actually set. Now I'm not gonna go over all of these, but this is where you basically set the bleed ticket frequency and all of that stuff. So you guys can go over that. And there's also graph tickets. there isn't really any settings here. Well, there is. So this is when you basically set the ticket loss, ticket gain, initial neutral flag ticket loss. So there's a few settings here, and then another one is the AAS visualizer. We'll get to that in a second, but you want to click on the last one, and then in here you guys will see there's a design outgoing links, and you want to click on this thing. And now because we have 4 points, we're basically gonna have I think you want to click 4 times on this, like so. So this is basically 4 because it starts at 0. So 0 is basically 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this all depends on how many flags you have. But you can always just add more or delete a specific row if you have too many. So for the first one, on node 1, this is gonna be the SNDF main. And then for node B, this is gonna be cap point 1. And then for number 1, or the second one, for node A, this is going to be cap point 1. And then for node B, this is going to be cap point B. So it might get a bit confusing. But then for the second one here, you want to click on cap point 2. And then node B is going to be cap point 3. Hopefully you guys are getting the gist of it. And so this one is going to be cap point 3. And then node B is going to be cap point 4. And then let's just add another one. And then for node A, this is going to be cap point 4. And then the last one, node B, is going to be the Russian main. Like so. And so there we have all of our cap points done and set up. And so the next thing that you want to do is just save. And so once you've done that, click on this AAS visualizer. And the next thing that you want to do is just click on update design links. And now it will basically show you the links of how the flags links together. And then that should be it. That's about everything that you need to do to set up an AAS gameplay layer for your map. And so what I'm going to quickly do is just click play and test it. So I'm going to quickly click play. And so it might take a few seconds to load. Like so. So just give it a second. Okay, I am back. So I totally forgot, but in your data assets, so you want to go to your gameplay underscore layer data folder, and you want to open your data asset for that layer. And then I totally forgot, you need to come over here to worlds and click on this plus icon here. Now if you guys already fixed this mistake, I'm sorry if I missed it at first, but what you want to do is basically then go to your set it to your gameplay layer that we created here, or the actual level. I'm just going to drag it over and set it and then save. And then now I'm sure if I click play, it should work. Yes, okay, so it works. Now, one thing that you also want to do is in your world settings, you want to make sure you want to come over down here to game mode override and set this to AAS also. And then the other thing is also you want to set your minimap stuff here in your map camera if you have it. Now I already have this set up before, and so all you do now is click play, and because everything is working now, you want to click on continue.
Our mission is to secure all objective areas.
And then now you guys will see you have all of your points here and it's all connected. And so what you want to do is, well, it's not really necessary to create a spawn, but I'm gonna basically spawn on my point. And now if you open your minimap, we can quickly run to the first point. And as you can see here, we're actually starting to capture it. Now it does take a long time because we didn't really change the capture or the cap zone time, because you can actually change the time it takes to capture. Now I do think it goes a bit faster if you are multiple people on the cap point, but as you can see there, it says cap point 1, and so I'm not gonna wait for this to cap, otherwise it's gonna take forever. But yeah, that's how you set up a AAS gameplay layer. What I can quickly do is, before I end the video, is I can quickly try it with the other team, just to make sure everything works also exactly the same. So all you do now is run to here, and there you guys see it also starts to cap and all of that stuff works. And so yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up, and also remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you guys in the next one.